know what? So you keep join. In the building.
This is Kings of Leon. Hi, this is rivalries.
Hi, it's Christine Edward.
Hey, what's up? This is JC.
Hello, this is Brandon Boyd from the band Incubus.
This is your DJ Golf on the Grandmaster Flash.
This is Free from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Hi, this is Eric Clapton. Hey, let's get there. What's up? This is LL Cool J.
No me.
My name is Frank Idemudia Alapa. That's my name. Talking sports, my game. And I am the greatest. I love listening to Electric TV radio.
What's that
unadulterated. It's probably replicated.
Sorry, I don't think on Milan. My channel was tight.
I seriously love listening to it.
Very, very tight.
Hello,
I was everywhere.
What's up, people? My name is Timmy.
Everywhere, all and about.
TV radio. Stay tuned.
You know what? I know for.
Mesdames et messieurs, je vous dis bonsoir.
Oh, no, yes.
Ce soir, je suis avec LGT sur LGT TV.
My family are on Instagram today. Who's there? Camille.
Listen, you
Listen fast now. 9 original.
Radio. Electric
get a show
TV
on the
radio.
road. My phone does well.
This is radio you never heard before.
I don't get money.
Electric TV radio. The pathfinder for radio.
Electric TV radio. We are not just about radio, TV, or YouTube numbers. We are all about connecting with people and creating a community of great minds and values.
Ooh, Soldier Boy, tell him. Oh, UK. I don't play UK before. I play Milan, but I don't play UK. I will call UK next year. Oh boy. Emmanuel, you ready?
Let's go.
You good?
Yeah.
What's that? All right, this weekend of derbies, there is the Oriental derby in Nigeria. Last weekend, it was the, what's that called? The Southwest derby. There was the Southwest derby, and it was worth the while, worth the time, worth the rain. Even the Evans connected to the derby. Well, there's a lot of derby. There's the Classico. There's the Manchester derby. No Milan derby yet, but hey, that derby have gone down. There is no Derby de la Bombonera. Yes, that's the Boca Junior River Plate. And there is also some crazy derby that we're going to talk about. But I'm going to leave it in your hands, which is the weightiest, the craziest, the maddest derby match you've ever seen. Well, Emmanuel said it's one where fire was thrown at a goalkeeper. He would have to say it himself so that you know. Well, kind of one call. Every time people say give X international, Nigerian football will grow when you give the X international Nigerian football to run. Well, Okocha, who says he would rather watch the Premier League, the English Premier League than the Nigerian League, ran the State FA Cup for FA for 4 years, and he was advised to resign or be impeached by his own board because he was. What do we call it in English language or in political term? It was administration of gross malfeasance. Okay, the dereliction of duty, not being responsible at his job and all that, not carrying the job, doing the job well. And as a matter of fact, they said his reign coincided with the death of football in Delta State. If you grew up in Nigeria and the South South, you know that Delta State produced some of the best footballers and also some of the most heated football competitions. But that's yesterday's stories. It's no longer there. Okay, having said that, it's derby weekend, and I'm asking you guys, which is the craziest derby you've ever seen? Let me go to Emmanuel Sebastian. Emmanuel Sebastian, good morning and welcome to the Friday edition of the Sports Buffet. We've agreed that we'll have an extended version. So let's start with you. Which is your craziest derby game ever seen?
All right, good morning to you, and good morning to the listeners. We are to the weekend, building up to the weekend, and it's been wonderful. It's good to be back on the microphone. We're talking about derby games. There's quite a lot of games. Look forward to today. Going into the weekend as well. I just had to mention that tonight there's a small matter of a London derby going down tonight. Friday night game in the Premier League. Crystal Palace at the Selhurst Park against Tottenham Hotspur, high flying Tottenham Hotspur. That's not the biggest of London teams, but it's a London derby per se. And in England as well, in the Championship, there's the seven-side derby going down this weekend as well. And for me, I have to just name check this derby because it's going to be involving our Nigerian brother Jamilu Collins. The seven-side derby is contested between Cardiff City and Bristol City. Yes, so Cardiff City is a Welsh club. Bristol City is an English club. I think it's a derby that has to do with borders between England and Wales. The Severn River and stuff like that. So it's kind of it's not a typical Welsh derby between Swansea or Swansea and Cardiff City, but this time is the Severn side derby in England. Where I just have to talk about this because it's going to be involving our Nigerian brother Jamilu Collins. This guy, me, I love Nigeria and anything. Our Nigerian players.
Derby.
Like so it's not the biggest derby, but I just have to mention that. So Jamilu Collins is going to be having his first test of the seven side derby this weekend. Cardiff City against Bristol City.
Bristol City.
Yeah. So, but talking about the biggest derby that I've watched. I take it back to 2005. That Milan derby in the Champions League. So many iconic photos from that derby. There's a photo of Rui Costa and Materazzi standing on the flares where all over the goal side.
Blue and red.
Shout out to that photographer who took that shot. Dida was throwing the fire on his shoulder by the opposing fans while he was standing in the goal. So I watched that derby, the flares, the rivalry. I think it was the first time these two teams are meeting in Europe. I'm not so sure, but it was something like that. So it lived up to the expectations and everything. So that was one of the craziest derby I've watched on TV. I've not watched anyone live, so on TV. So I think I have to.
Oh, you didn't go for the Southwest derby?
No, I didn't go for this.
You've not watched any?
I've watched the Southwest derby in Lagos.
Okay.
And
so you've watched
European derbies.
Okay.
So, but I have to then check that. So, 2005 Champions League encounter between AC Milan and Inter Milan. I think that's the game I've really enjoyed, watching on TV.
Well, thank you very much, Emmanuel Sebastian. And to the people out there, let's just take some of the comments that they're already giving on the derby. Only let me say they will not forgive me because I didn't come to the UK. Okay, so UK was not even on my trip because Schengen visa is what I have and it doesn't give me access to UK. So the UK is something we'll plan for next year. Even my sister that just spoke to bed need me to be in the UK. Ufoma Mandema wants me to come to the UK. So hold up, and traveling is expensive. I'm freaking right now. I'm broke, like broke. My daughter said, "When are you not broke?" That rookie, 9 years old, but she don't worry. Okay, so first off, let's talk about something very pressing in the parliament. Somebody, a single mother, wrote me that her daughter, she's struggling with her daughter's school fees, blah blah blah. That if I can help, the school fees is 430,000. If I can help raise it about 150K, she'll be very happy. And I tried to verify, and it's true. They paid half of their school fees. It's not just POS and all that. And I said I'm going to bring it before my parliament because honestly speaking, I not get the money to give. But I feel like cases like that, like healthcare, education, my school fees was paid by a lot of people when I was coming up. So I know what it means for the school fees not to be there. And before you go say, hey, why you say you get to expensive school? See, even if it's cheap, I went to school where my mother couldn't pay 6 naira for school fees. So even if it's cheap in your eye, it's not cheap in somebody else's eyes. That's just the way it is. Yeah. So one or the other, we all are going to contribute. On Monday, I'm going to write her back and ask for a bank account details. On Monday, prepare yourself. I'm going to post our account details in the comment section of the YouTube channel. So even those of you on Instagram, you would have to go to YouTube, see the account number, and help. Whatever you can contribute. Just put in the comment section, in the remark section of when you're sending the money, Elevated TV and radio fans, so they know that you're sending from the show. She obviously listens to our show too, and that's why she reached out to us, believing that we are kind people. Let me read the message. Some people think Elegote is my real name.
Hello,
Mr. Elegatus. Good evening, sir. Sorry to come into your space like this. I got your number online as your number is in public space. I'm sorry. I apologize for evading your privacy. I'm a mother with a daughter that is in school, and I've tried to pay the school fees, but the money is not complete. I would need your help whatever way you can. I consider you to be a good person, and it's not just because I'm asking for help, but I followed your show for a while. Not really, but every time that I have the chance to, because I'm a sports lover, I've been listening to you when I was in Brilla up until now. Please, whatever help you can render for me, do well to support my child. And then she went on to put the details of the school, everything. She didn't send, again, what is smart about it, she didn't send the account number. And she ended up with say, I'll wait for you to give me permission to send my account number. Once again, I apologize for invading your space. I really need this help. This is hard for me to do, but I have to do it. These are the details of the school. This is the principal's number, the head teacher's number, and the class teacher's number. You can help me so that my child doesn't stop going to school. I'll be very happy. It's quite touching anyway. So we would all come together and make this work and see how it goes. And for us, Christmas is around the corner time. I don't know if people would still be able to entertain friends and guests anymore this Christmas. Are you expecting to entertain guests for this Christmas? I think this is going to be a lonely Christmas. Everybody mind your business now. Well, there is someone who's done a lot of price slash, and I think we should be able to put him out there. Say, place your order for the weekend combo. 1 liter of asun is now 6,000 naira instead of 10,000 naira. 1 liter banga rice assorted meat 4,500. 1 liter catfish banga soup 5,500. 1 liter assorted meat banga soup 5,000 naira. 1 liter dry fish banga soup 6,000 naira. 1 liter ugu soup, okay, 5,500. 1 liter goat meat pepper soup, 4,500. 1 liter chicken pepper soup is 4,000 naira. Full goat head and the sauce is 5,500. Complete cow leg sauce unkobi is 5,500. And then boneless unkobi is 6,000 naira. If you're interested, send me a message and I would send you the person's number. If you can send me a message on my DM or whatever, you will get that one. We'll decide to do a few promo. If you have any business that you want to promote between now and the end of December, send us a message. We'll promote it on the show. It's part of our ways to say thank you to you guys out there. So for those of you who are watching our shows, we can give you full promotion of your businesses or your events, and you want us to send somebody a shout out, you want us to do one thing or the other for someone that is within our reach, please don't put us in a place where we would struggle with money. We don't have it right now. Okay, thank you very much. Now let's come back to football. Yeah, for you out there, tell us what's the craziest, the biggest, the toughest derby game that you've ever seen. Whether you've seen it, let us know. For me, I've been part of derby games. I've seen a lot of derby. I play football in Port Harcourt. There is Sharks of Port Harcourt versus Eagle Cement. That's a derby. There's a derby game in the FA Cup. There's a derby game in the league. Blah 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 blah. There's a whole lot. But beyond that one, this is not about me now. I'll share mine. But I need you guys to tell me what your biggest derby is. And I'm going to read some derby stories that I researched on, and you would also benefit from the stories if you like it. Oluyem says that my craziest derby is a London derby. Every time, all right, that match where the guy was in goal for 2-goal lead and kind of came off the bench, and that's on Shiroz. It was October that year. It was a bit wet on the field, just wet. Get your mind out of the gutter. Those of you who are thinking gutter. Oluyem also said the Milan derby too was my first introduction to football derbies, and as a football fan, those Italians are always a hot. It was more than football on that pitch. Yes, the Italians know how to turn football into something different, and I'm sure everybody enjoyed it the way it came. Well, there is a whole lot of comments that I'm seeing. Johnny Gava, it's been a while. How you doing, Idafi? When you come UK, you have to come and check me. So let me say this to all the people in UK. This is what is going to happen. Is it like this trip that I went to Europe now that I was in Portugal, Spain, Amsterdam, Germany, Paris, and the rest of them? That's how my UK run is going to be like. And I want to say massive thank you to those people who supported my trip to Europe. Omar Katuba for being a very good host and a chauffeur. Okay, some of us I should not mention that name. So let me leave that down with first. But it's hard for the hardest thing is for people to do good for you and you have to keep silent about it. It's sometimes very, very scary. Like it makes you feel ungrateful. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I think when I decide to come to UK next year, and one of the things about me traveling is I don't travel in winter because I don't like it. I've traveled in winter so many times, and I don't feel people like to, correct me if I'm wrong, those of you in Europe, I don't feel people like to entertain visitors during winter. I just feel like winter is a time for where people just stay alone with their family and all that. Sorry, if you're living alone, then you're lonely. But normally, I don't think people like somebody because you could be going and you know, say, oh, your car skid off the road, they should come and help you, and they don't want to go out themselves. So everybody's minding their business, and it's not the best time for you to cross from another country to another country and try to go and visit. So, Philadelphia say, Baba, why your mind first go gutter out of the abundance of the heart? No, I know the way some of that the reason. That's why I just get your head out of the gutter. It's just wet, just wet. Don't finger anything, okay? Oh God, I've enjoyed the benefit of working on the two sides of the radio, two different sides of the radio. The chassis show on Sports Zone on. On the Lagos stuff, and I was just talking something. I said, "Oh, this person is shitty," and everybody in the studio like, "Oh, sorry, I forgot that we're not in local radio, we're not in terrestrial radio," and it didn't go that well with a lot of people anyway. Emmanuel, let me come back to you anyway. Man City, Manchester United, Man City. Where's your smart money on?
Obviously, it has to be Manchester City.
Why?
Because they're always the favorite in recent years, but it's a derby game. We know it's a derby game, and it can go either ways. We've seen, was it a couple of seasons ago, or was it just last season, when United they were not in the best run of form and they defeated City in the derby. I can't remember the scoreline now. Or
even Jose Mourinho and Paul Pogba time. Remember?
Yeah.
Man City were 2 goals up and the game ended 3-2. I still can't take that game off my head. How did it happen?
So that's the unpredictability of derby games. You throw form out the window, and it's just two teams going head to head. Getting the results and all that. So on paper, if you look at anyone want to look at it, City are the favorites for that derby match. And of course, City they've been in the poor run as well until recently, where they start getting back to winning ways and stuff like that. So it's a tricky one. I think it might go either ways, but if you ask me, I think City are the favorites to win it. So I will put City. I will put City up there as the favorites to get the derby game. And if you United with all that is happening, yes, should I say? I don't want to say steady sheet, but it's they got.
Are City really playing very well?
They are not. That's what I'm saying. They're not. They've been in the poor run until recently. They got that win. Even in these wins they've got recently, they've not been the City we know or we've seen in the last couple of years, and what have you. So for United, it's good that they got a win this midweek, and it's good that they'll be entering this game with a win. I don't. They play at Old Trafford, yeah. I think.
Old Trafford, yeah.
So I think they have the advantage. They've had back-to-back defeats at Old Trafford at some point this season.
No, when you say advantage, I don't understand. Is it not that same Old Trafford that every time Dick and Harry goes and really fire them from back and front?
I think it's an advantage. You're playing at home. You're playing in front of your home crowd, so it gives you that extra motivation to want.
Man United is giving this "Hey, sexy, let's go and do it" kind of vibe.
So you just want to perform in front of the home crowd, in front of the Old Trafford faithful, in the theater of dreams.
Is this the theater of dreams?
maybe nightmares recently.
It's a theater of nightmares.
But City are coming into this one looking to win it, and it's everything to play for. United, they might want to put up a fight for that one. But if you ask me, my smart money is going to be on City to get the win in this one. But United won't be any pushovers. Like I said, the home advantage is there. The confidence coming from that win. Maguire is confident, Onana is confident, but let's just see how this one is going to pan out for United. And it's one game we're looking forward to this weekend. I mean, Manchester United is always a big fixture.
So there's this saying that Man City doesn't play well if their midfield is not doing well. I don't know if you believe in it, but I kind of like agree with it. That Haaland is hopeless without a good midfield. And with Julian Alvarez, I've tried to also carry the team on his shoulder, running around. Foden didn't play midweek in the Champions League because he was having a slight knock, so they say. But I'm thinking Pep Guardiola is saving him for the dance with Manchester, the City derby, and all that. But for you, where would the spark come for Chelsea? Let's leave Man United now because Man United is so unpredictable. You can't even bet on anything. They can surprise you with good results. They can also surprise you with terrible results. But I'm thinking that they're off for it. They've had like 3 good games now. Yeah, even Maguire, the worst player in the team, have become man of the match winner. Put up some performance. 3 games on the bounce. When you look at Manchester City, who they say that if you finish above anybody that finish above City will win the league. Well, it does look like that. And let's not talk about Spurs right now because they know where they will crumble eventually. Where is the spark, the creativity going to come for Man City? Because Bernardo Silva seems to be like lost at sea. Kevin De Bruyne was rushed back too early from injury at the beginning of the season. I was saying the crisis. Riyad Mahrez was sold, wasn't replaced properly. A lot of things are missing in this City team. Because they won the treble, everybody is feeling like it doesn't mean anything. Now we're saying that Jack Grealish also, when push comes to shove, he's not really the guy that would save you, and then he's out injured. What is the spark coming for Manchester City?
For City, I think Julian Alvarez has done quite well since De Bruyne got that injury. It tells you how versatile he can be as a footballer. How Pep Guardiola sees talents in players and try to utilize. It's quite surprising the way he's performed since De Bruyne got that injury. So I think Alvarez has. We all know the kind of player Haaland is. If he gets the chance in the box, he's going to score. So
it depends on supply.
It depends on supply.
Right now, there's no supply. Seems like Manchester City supply chain seems like NEPA right now.
So and Julian Alvarez, United has to find a way to stop Julian Alvarez. He's not your typical De Bruyne player, but what he's done is he's shown that, should I say, slight similarities with what De Bruyne does. He can hit the ball, he scores free kick, he scores goals, gets into the goals, goes to the byline, he plays that brilliant cross from his right foot, the way we saw De Bruyne. I'm not trying to say he can do what De Bruyne does, but he's making somewhat of you don't miss De Bruyne too much. You go to Alvarez has come on and play. For Rodri, when I talk about Rodri, I remember how stupid he was to collect that red card. I don't know if you remember that yesterday.
I remember.
I don't know what came over his head. I know how to put his team in that situation, but he's a missed as well. His play from deep, his build-up play, that breaking of play from deep as well, supplying the passes. So it's one thing to break play from as a defensive midfielder, and it's another thing to also build from deep with those passes and those short passes and the long passes as well. So I think City have missed that in recent games, but having Rodri back is a big boost for Manchester City. But for the spark, I think Julian Alvarez can bring that spark for Manchester City, and if he eventually gets one to Haaland, Haaland is going to convert that chances and he's going to score. If Foden can do his bit as well, it's not been that consistent, this season. Foden been here and there, touch and go a bit. Bernardo Silva hasn't,
it's just not there. They should have sold him.
So he's not lighted up the season as well. So if you ask me about the spark, I think Julian Alvarez and Haaland can also bring the spark, but it depends on how you can break the supply, get it into him.
One player in Man City that is full of running, more like headless chicken, but he can dribble. Doku. Is he a City type player? He's not a good player. I'm not going to classify him among he knows how to play ball. But is he a City type player?
I was surprised when maybe he's trying to do something different. Doku is direct. As a to be honest, as a Liverpool fan, we've been linked with him, and I've kind of watched clips of him and the ball. I've got to that.
No, but you're allowed to be opinionated.
Doku is the best 1v1 dribbler, in European football. He was at Rennes the other time in France. Yeah. I've watched him at Rennes, watched him at Belgium. I saw clips, obviously, Like he always wants to beat his man. Beats his man. Anytime he has the ball on the byline, he wants to take the player on. He wants to dribble. He wants to, go there. And I don't think I've seen Pep any player as such under Pep Guardiola. Well, Grealish came on really, but Grealish is not a typical dribbler and all that. Grealish doesn't do it the way Doku does. But Doku has come to Manchester City and he has brought that spark. And people have said, I've seen some people call him like it's a Simon kind of dribbler, but he's not really kind of. I mean, Doku has goal contributions to his game, like goal contributions to his game. When he's not on his day, he can be an annoying player. Doku, he can be so annoying. But he's done well since he's come to Manchester City. He's done so well. I mean, I watched him against West Ham, where he got a goal in that game. I love direct players. I love players who wants to dribble, who wants to take on players or take on defenders, and wants to take on players or take on defenders. And I think Pep Guardiola, a lot will depend on Pep Guardiola. Maybe give him that free role to do whatever he wants to, because I don't think Pep Guardiola is known as a manager who loves players that dribble too much. He loves the passing game. He loves the technical side of the game. Building up, tiki-taka kind of thing. But Doku is different. So I think for a player like Doku, playing under Pep Guardiola will help him to some extent, because I mean,
do you like him?
I love him, to be honest. I just love. There's something about me that likes
direct player.
Yeah, when you want to do something, dribble and take player on. There's something about
that. Is that the Ajegule boy in you that's?
There's just something about that. I love seeing that in footballers.
Okay, so I mean, in my day as a player, that's what I do best. I take you on. But I think in the system that Pep plays,
that's the thing.
The best player is the guy who keeps the ball less on his feet. Okay, so where the jury stay out on him.
That's why I said playing on that paper and just helping.
That's a part of what we criticize Grealish for, that he was holding on to the ball too long. He was trying too much to impress and all that. And again, his game evolved from the first season to the winning the treble. You could see the difference in it. But hey, let's see how it goes first. But then let's come back to you now. I mean, after my beats. Let me see you handle it.
All right. So welcome again to the Sport Buffet on the your best online radio platform, Elevator TV Radio. Wherever you're listening from, via the app, via the URL. Thank you for tuning in.
I think I should take some messages, yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to take them?
Let me take them. Okay. Oloyem says City will spark United. If I were ETH, I won't underrate City. Okay. I don't think they should. She said, true. Winter people they veil, so the visiting people in winter it's not advisable. It's not a good thing. And she said their spark will come from Alvarez and Doku that we just talked about. On YouTube, a lot of people have got sense. So Johnny Gaffer said that when you come to UK, you have to come check me. I definitely will. There's a lot of people. First off, Dida Agono is the first person I want to go see in the UK. For somebody to travel all the way from UK to come see us when we're starting up, when we were setting up, had no business coming tonight. Just wanted to come. Like, guy, I like your will, your drive. Came here, saw us, took us it was Mega Chicken also to go eat, and he's bought us a whole lot of books. When you look at that library, half of that library are books that he bought, football books that he bought for us to keep us going and supporting us all the time. I'll definitely go look for him. Johnny Gaffer, I'll definitely come look for you as well. Sabi Girl says, good morning, boss. Good morning to you, my darling. Yeah, hey, sexy. How you doing? Chooks as well will say, good morning, Elevator. Good morning to you. Hope you're fine now. You said, when Chooks say no well there, and he's dressing, wearing all this Agbada 1,500, like somebody who's just hit the jackpot. I'm like, is this how people fall sick? If this is how people fall sick, now let's all be falling sick. Well, no wahala. He said, good morning, Elevator. Great to know. I can listen to you from wherever. I am currently on my way to the airport to catch my flight back home, and my app is on speaker for everyone to hear. Thank you very much. Thank you. I mean, it felt good listening to this radio, all across Europe. Like everywhere I was there, let's put on the app. Okay, can I hear my radio? It was very, very good. It was very, very good. I won't lie. It was very, very good. Timothy Demba say, City will beat Man United. I beg. That's a Man United fan for the record. For the record, that's a Man United fan. And this is how they disguise it. eventually now when Man United go win, you see
And then
Timothy them will post many meme and many emojis and all that. Not let us hear what, even though he's a very quiet person, but watch out for that tree, Judge of the Jungle. All I want to say, Mr. Alebota, please help check the app. Na song they play. Are you sure about that? Okay, that was when we went off. Okay, that was when we went off. Technical issues. Go move on. Timothy Demba said, Remo Stars versus Sporting Lagos. I no fit ever forget that derby. It had everything. Tactical battles, touchline drama, crazy fans, and the rains and everything. I agree with you. I wasn't there, but I saw everything on social media, and I think that this heat. There are some people who don't want it to be like that, but I think this is what football should be like. Yeah. Derbies grow league. Any league without a derby is just there. Derbies grow league, and the more it goes, and sometimes there's going to be fights. Let's not deceive ourselves. Sometimes there's going to be fight. It's going to be fiercey. The goal will be disputed, or something is going to happen. Fans are going to take it to another level. At least this stage, now this is the first round. Let's imagine that is the final game of the season. One needs, Manchester City and Man United were not rivals until Man United had to beat Man City to get them relegated, and then the enmity started. So these things are going to happen. Maybe Sporting Lagos Remo have already made the top 4. Sporting Lagos needs to beat Remo in the last game of the season for hypothetically for them to make the top 4. But if Remo beat them, whether win or lose, it doesn't matter to them. Their position is secure, and then Remo comes on to the Lagos and beats them and deny them top 4. The derby will go from hot to volcano, and it's two different conversations at the time. But the league needs that to grow. The league needs all that. In this whole rivalry between Arsenal and Tottenham, if you think about it properly, it's not basis for the rivalry. Who's Tottenham to be rivaling Arsenal? But it is those kind of rivalry that the media and everybody create. Who is Everton to be Liverpool's rival? Let's be very honest. Then Everton does not. It's not basis for the rivalry. I'm your rival when we are. I'm trying to buy a G-Wagon, you go and buy it. I'm trying to buy a Rolls Royce, you go and buy it. I'm trying to buy a house in Banana Island, you buy it. Not when I have a Fiat to buy anything that you cannot even buy. You just stand in your window, your balcony, or your under bridge and be wishing, hey, I wish I was that guy. And then it's so whatever. But the media created that kind of rivalry, and it's what pushes the league. El Classico, somebody's in Catalonia, another person. I was in Madrid and I was like, oh, this distance, and these two people are rivals. Atletico Madrid versus Real Madrid is not even a big rivalry. And then you call one person that is in Kano, another person is in Port Harcourt, and you say they are rivals. Well, that's what it is. When you create this kind of big brands, you need those kind of rivalries, and it's the biggest game in La Liga. So I think rivalries are good. For those who say rivalries are not good, that's their own opinion anyway. Could I say my problem with that team is that that Agbari man, that's the buyer. The two of them get by head, so I don't know the one you talk. In the dugout, it seems to have lost control of the team and looks clueless. And this clueless now, I take a mogul for office. Na covering Buhari, will not be for 8 years. Nigeria, my look get value pass human being. I'm gonna be careful with clueless. Most times, team selection. Most times, his team selections is questionable. I don't know the one you're talking about now, but I'm guessing it's Eric Ten Hag because it had to question Pep Guardiola's team selection. Having said that, though, Emmanuel, it is back to you.
All right, just moving on the show. We saw some Europa League and Conference League games yesterday. Pretty few Nigerians were involved. Just
it not go better for West Ham. It not go better for West Ham.
Oh my God!
It not go better for West Ham.
Just to run down where our Nigerians were in action in the Europa League last night. Ademola Lookman impressed for Atalanta. But they played a 2-2 draw away at Strong Grass. So yeah, that was how that one ended. In Brussels in Belgium, Moses Uso scored for his first goal for LASK, but they lost. Considered 2 late goals to Union Saint-Gilloise. That's the former team of Victor Boniface. Talking about Boniface, he was on target. 5-1 win against Karabakh in the Europa League, and what a goal! A long ranger outside of the box, and a fantastic goal for Boniface. That's 10 goals in all competitions this season. His second in the Europa League. I don't think I remember any Nigerian that have had a brilliant start to life, in his club career. Yeah, we've had some couple of them, but for Boniface, so the early stages of the career, they were coming into
Maccabi in Israel. He just came and hit the ground running, and then he came to Europe, came to mainstream Europe and hit the ground running as well. Yakuba Egwemi had that amazing, beautiful run. I don't know who else again had that, but it was Yakuba when he's very clear to my head.
Right, talking about Boniface just before the kickoff of that game yesterday, he received his golden shoe. You know, he won the Europa League and scored last season, so he was presented with the golden shoe. He went out to put out a tweet of the picture of the golden shoe and say, "Aboki getting seen an iron." So I mean, if you follow Boniface on Twitter, that's what you see, and one of the things we enjoy on Twitter, and he knows how to give jibes.
I just hope that one day when his club now will not use the Aboki Gotinsen Iron will not come out and shout racism, because the way we Nigerians take everything to mean racism sometimes could be very annoying. It could be very, very disgusting, and I hope, but I enjoy his social media drive, and he's a very I mean, I saw him up close in Portugal. I've seen him before when he was on what's this man, Paul Agbogo's team on the 20th team. And it was from afar. I remember I got injured that time, but I was in Abuja, I was around the team, and I saw him. But this time around, it's a big man. It's kind of pretty big, you know. And so he had this more growth on his ear. I was like, why? What happened? He said, go wear fake earring. And it immediately my head went to my mom. So my mom doesn't wear any earring that is not gold. She wears GL or any regular earring. She'll get irritation on her ear, and it seems like my daughter is like that again. I was like, what kind of expensive ear won't and get? What's about Jesus Christ? I don't get it. But I mean, ladies, do you guys have this situation whereby neck chain or earring, if it is not gold, if it's not diamond, then it give you rashes or irritation? Please, you guys can share. Or even if guys who they wear, no, but the guys on our platform doesn't look like people where they wear earring anyway. I used to have two holes in my ears. I used to wear stud and the rest.
I started wearing recently, but it's not holes, just magnets.
Just a stud, magnet.
Yeah, magnets and studs. That's what it is and all that. I can't stand piercing myself. I don't know if it's I see people do nose, do tongue,
there are crazy things. There are crazy things.
There
are crazy things that I can do. There are crazy things that I can do, but I'm trying not to do it again because my wife is too conservative. So sometimes you're like, okay, my wife is that kind of person that bothers about people's opinion. I've never been there. I don't know what it means like for somebody's opinion to bother me, but when it comes to wife, you just have to be careful because they will nag you to death. So avoid it. Like I want to do a tattoo on my hand here, my children's name. But I'm thinking she doesn't like it. It's like, okay, just leave it. Let me just let it.
All right. It is still in the Europa League. We are just to run it down. Igor Obu was in action for Slovakia, but they lost 2-0 away at Jose Mourinho's Yes, Roma. Fiercest wasn't the target. Nino draw against Sparta Prague in the conference.
It not go better for West Ham.
West Ham. I mean, talking about West Ham, they lost, but they lost by 2-1.
By now, for that they like $1,000+ up.
You bounce back. We'll bounce back. In the conference league, Econ was fantastic as it came from 2 goals down to win 3-2
but
Aberdeen.
How was Econ fantastic? They considered 2 goals. How was it fantastic? Did this score?
When you're part of a defense that
you concede 2 goals. The attackers were the ones that were fantastic because they scored 3.
But you didn't concede more. So let's allow Econ to breathe.
Econ had breathed. Take the oxygen. Supreme Court have decided. Take the oxygen.
All right. Moving on. I mean, it was a sad night for Timber. Came on 15 minutes. We got a red card. The game ended 0-0 game against Ferenc Varos. And the one I wanted to talk about, Gift Urban goal draw finally ended. He scored. He came off the bench to score in Gent's 5-0 win in the Conference League. He's gone through, I think, 9 matches without scoring a goal. He came off the bench to score. I mean, was it 2 days ago on the show? He was saying you take him at Arsenal. But talking about players and goal drought, how do players come such a long goal drought? I mean, 9 games. I mean, for a player that's been firing on all cylinders since he came to Belgium, came to the national team, got that injury. We hear Togo is fighting. We don't know how true the story is. We hear Togo is fighting with Nigeria, for them not to cap him again, this and that. With all the things that has been happening,
It's the player that will decide on that front.
Yeah,
On that
so-
front is the player that will decide this is the country I want to play for. But I think he's still pretty young. His family is in Togo. He doesn't want a situation whereby, so the story that I heard, the story that I heard is that the player wants to play for Nigeria.
Yeah.
But he knows that Togo is the headquarters, the HQ of Black Voodoo. Afraid that they will X him if he like openly turn them down, like, oh, I'm not going to play for, I choose Nigeria. They will X him. They will X him with juju, and he might not be able to score. He might not be able to play for Nigeria. He will start getting injuries regularly. Remember when he came to play for Nigeria? There's a story behind the scene that when he came to play for Nigeria, it was well. When it was time, they were sure he was going to be selected. An injury just came out of nowhere, right? So he is a bit scared. Like, okay, let me not go out publicly. You know how when you love a girl, but the girl is being loved by somebody else, and you are afraid to publicly go and flirt with the girl, and the person that is dating the girl is a bodybuilder. You don't want to get beaten publicly. So that probably is fears right now, but eventually he will decide. I think he's waiting to move to a bigger club, and then he would decide. This is not, I didn't get this from him. This is me creating my own, pocket of stories that I've gotten from all those sources, and I'm piecing it together to create my own opinion. It's not a fact. So guys, don't go out there and quote me and say this is the fact, but these are the stories, the snippets that I've gotten. I can't call it fact, but there's no smoke without fire.
All right, talking about no smoke without fire. Some questions are already coming in. Please, somebody's asking your take on Enyimba's outstar in the.
Let's not take. We've taken our take already. We've taken first, second, third, and fourth, or fifth.
They lost by 3-0, so they've bowed out of the tournament. 3 first half goals right there in Morocco. We were here. You saw flashes of the game and how the fans came out to support, Morocco in that wider in that fixture. But nothing much to talk about. They are going home with $900,000, if I'm not mistaken, for participating in those 2 games. But I don't know the next edition 2 games. But I don't know the next edition if any Nigerian team will be selected, because anybody will represent us really, really well in that competition. But we'll wait to see how that one pans out. So moving on the show. Let's. Somebody asked a question yesterday. I promised to take that question today on the show. So that asked which MPFL goalkeeper will you recommend for the Super Eagles? Now, my issue with this is we had John Noble, we've had Ojo is there now with the Super Eagles.
Yeah.
I suppose we have Sochima. These guys have come into the Super Eagles and they've not been given chances to play, or maybe Pesero is seeing something in training that we are not seeing. And now these guys that have been there already are not getting the chance. But we are still throwing names out there. We are still throwing the Baswegi. So I don't know how are we going to do when the ones that they haven't gotten the chance are throwing more names. So
the basic truth. I don't know if you saw the video of Performdo on the Abu Aziz podcast, and there's something very instructive that he said that when the players from the local league goes to the national team, they're intimidated by the presence of these guys. You that is earning maybe 500K, you go to the team and you see somebody whose weekly earning is, if you convert on that, is over 10 million, 5 million, even 20 million. There is a tendency for you to panic. There's a tendency for you to become a fanboy or somebody that you're supposed to be competing with. That's one. And the thing about that whole type of scenario is that it shows. So the coaches, the management of the team knows that, oh, you are intimidated. I was in Portugal. I went in late after the first game against Saudi Arabia. I went in. And that's one scenario. I didn't want to talk about this, but since we're talking about it. Olorunleke Ojo came into, because me and Omar were I was in a different hotel, and I moved to the hotel that the Eagles are in. And it's not paid for by the NFF, even though I'm in the marketing committee. My trip wasn't paid for by the NFF, and I'm able to say, because if I would say, then nobody in the back room me, right? Unless some of my fans, some guys really did chip in £100 here, 50,000 there, but it's great support. Now, every player, I'm like, hey, what's up? If you see, I have pictures with almost all the players. It's something I hardly do. You don't see me snap pictures with players. People always, I don't do that. But this time around, I didn't go there on a journalistic job. I went to Europe to make meetings, to try set up a studio in Europe. And when I went to the Super Eagles game, I went there as a fan. Like, I'm here to support you guys. So it was okay for me to take pictures. If I'm there to do a job, I'm not going to take a picture of anybody. And breakfast. We went for breakfast. I seen the other players. They have their own separate place that they set up for them. But on this day, this was the day that they were leaving. Some of the players had even gone the previous night, so everybody was a free mix. The general secretary was there, Dayo, who's like the greatest person I've ever known in Nigerian football sector. Unfortunately, is the unsung hero of the national team. Nobody knows, nobody even know who that is. Dayo Neviacha was there, and then there was another guy there. And a lot of local Joe came in. Me and Oma were asking for our egg. It's made on order. We're asking for our eggs and all that. And then he came in and was like, hey, Lekiana, it obviously didn't hear. And Omar did the same thing. So we just moved on. And so later, like, hey, Lekiana, I'm the greet you now. He was not let me first greet you now. He was on the defense, unnecessarily on the defensive. Oh, let me first greet you now. Oh, but because I'm not be them, I'm not be European player, blah 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 blah. No, something like. And I told him, I said, guy, listen. Mika had to clear him up. I said, guy, listen, I am the guy who produces the Nigerian league. I'm one of the people that you should be happy that I'm around you. Because how many of your game? I produce a Super 6. I produce league matches that covers a lot of AIBAD matches last season. So if you don't know anybody, know me. And I promote the league, Nigerian league, more than anybody. So I don't even understand how he comes to and then the end dollar and I'll be connected to Kano tomorrow is my personal friend. So if you're seeing me hanging out with him, and it was his birthday the previous night, if you see me hailing him, it's because we have a personal relationship, right? I don't have a personal relationship with him, but I still try to greet you, still try to relate with you, and you're already feeling inferior. I don't know why people do like that. I don't know. And it's not just Olaroloke Ojo's thing, it is a major thing with football as the home base player. So I don't think any home base player or goalkeeper can make the national team. I think I think what the coach is doing is giving Francis Uzor enough rope to tie himself so that when they drop him, nobody would say, why did you drop him? And I think he's done that. He's used the rope to tie himself. If this coach still believes in Francis Uzor, well, Francis Uzor is a great guy. Oyibo sign him. I mean, who am I to even talk about a whole Francis Uzor or Oyibo sign? Let's not even talk about him. But if the coach goes out there and depend on him, then that is ambition of saying he wants to win the Nations Cup. It's a fluke. Okay, you have good strikers, but you also need defense and you need goalkeepers. And your defense starts with the goalkeeper, who is in the goal line, because defending is also a product of both skill, tactics, power, brawn, and all that. But it's also a product of confidence. If you're defending and you're not sure that it's shots that can be taken from anywhere will beat your goalkeeper, you're not confident of your goalkeeper behind you, you are more likely to make mistakes because you start doing way more than you're expected to do. And it's in the process of doing way more than you're expected to do. That's where mistake comes. You become clumsy, you become tired, you get caught out of position, and then you concede cheeky goals that you don't even know who to blame. So I think that for Francis Uzor, left for me, he will not even get to national team call-up again until he moves away from that biblical Cyprus is where white hijab people stays and come back to mainstream Europe. That's one. Beyond all of that, I think that you still have 2 or 3 or 4 goalkeepers abroad that would be able to man that position. Maduka Okoye is back in the team. You've got the young man. The disadvantage they say is short, but I saw him in training. His reflex is very good. He could go to the height of the goal. He could go to the length of the goal. Adeleye whatsoever his name is, and then the other few ones that we could call up. So I don't really think that currently there is a Nigerian MPFA goalkeeper that can keep goal. So look at all the top teams that have gone on the continent. They've been beaten.
Somebody else is on the scene. Does it mean that Elebete is saying no MPFL?
There's no any MPFL goalkeeper that can cut it with the national team right now. There is no MPFL goalkeeper that can cut it with the national. I'm sorry to say this. I'm a strong promoter of the MPFL, so I'm not one of those who. I'm not a coach. I'm not against the MPFL, but they need some level of consistency. They need some level of good runs. Because the thing is, no matter how good, how talented you are as a football player, if you don't have confidence, you will make mistakes. You will make schoolboy mistakes. Confidence is the binder that brings your fitness, your skills, your tactics, everything together. Lacking in that confidence, it's like buying a very good gift, but not wrapping it properly and not putting the proper bowl on it. So confidence is the bowl that wraps your gift and make it presentable. And when you go to the Super Eagles camp, listen, you're seeing a player wearing a $3,000 or 3,000 euro Balenciaga, and you came in with your Abba-made Nike. I mean, your Nike that you bought maybe at most 80K. So there are certain people, let me tell you, there are very few people in this life. Me, I'm a good example of that. As a matter of fact, I teach confidence. When I go to Ecobi, that's the only thing I teach for 1 year. I could wear a cricket cloth and I'll intimidate you that is wearing
Original.
the most expensive cloth out there. Because my confidence is not built on what I wear. My confidence is in me. That's why people quickly mistake my confidence for arrogance. And I don't owe you an explanation. But I know that I'm an exception to the rule. I'm an exception, strong exception to the rule. I'm supposed to be very, very naive, very timid, but no, I'm not. You see, you walk with me. You've seen me walk into a place, and I remember when I was running a campaign for Betway. It's a very, very unique one. So we're eating at what's it called now? Forgotten. Federal Palace Hotel. And while we're taking lunch there, Femi Tedala came in, right? I don't know him from anywhere, just only online. I've seen him. And myself, Chasa Mazodo, Moses Praise, Joseph Faulkner, a few other guys who were all there. And I said, oh, I want to have a picture of me taking with this guy. And everybody, don't do it. He go show you. First off, what am I to lose if Femi Tedala shunned me? We're not on the same level. So it's okay if he shuns me. I'm not going to get angry. And I walk up, he was on the phone. I walk up to him, and his PA, man, he's like DSS or some macho guy just caught me. You know where you're going for someone, and then they just caught you straight. Pew! Like that. He caught me straight. That guy would take a bullet for Femi Tedala. He caught me straight, and his hand was on my neck already. You know, that's like, if you make any silly move, I'll strangle you to death. He's a big guy, yeah. And I said, no, it's just, I understand you're doing your job, but I want to have a picture with a man that I like. And you're not stopping me. I said, you're not stopping me. I don't care whatever amount of powers you have. I don't have gas with me here. I just want to have a picture of me taken with him. And you're not stopping me because I'm not going to see him every day. I can't come to his office. I'm shouting, Femi, I want to take a picture with you. And he was laughing. He was on the phone. I said, hey, hold a minute. And he said, let him through. I went in, I took the picture. And then we went back, and everybody was like, well, you get out. No, it's not about getting hard. It's just about, this is me. This is my personality. I no longer see that side. But not everybody have that. The players that come from, the national team players, these are bloody rich people. They are richer than the governor that runs the football club that most of these Nigerian League EPL players play. And when the governor comes, you know how the players behave. So you're not hanging out with footballers who play with money. Like, you don't understand. When you come to camp, they have their own entourage that they also pay for rooms for. And you're there. You're even begging for sneakers from your teammate. You're begging sneakers from your teammate. You're begging jersey from your teammate. That's the guy you want to compete with. Well, forget it. Forget it. The confidence of Irish. When people talk about Vincent Nyama, Vincent Nyama was keeping for Enyimba at the time, and Enyimba was always, flying high. Not this kind of across Enyimba. Was flying high, was sailing high. So it was easy for him to go into the national team in 2002 and get a shot. I did well. And again, the Super Eagles was in disarray. Okay, it was okay. I could bet my life that if Vincent Nyama had come into the Super Eagles that had Peter Rufa at his prime, the Sunday Olise was there, Philip the Judge was there, he would also be intimidated. It's natural. I've seen people come here, they talk online, Twitter. I can talk sports, I can ask Timothy there, but the first thing I invited him to Brilla. When you see them, put them for front of the mic, I'm sitting next to them, you don't experience them. The word where they talk, you don't know if you talk again. So it's natural for that to happen. It's going to take some time. Our league is not there yet. Give this league another 5 seasons. Players in the league will be able to break into the national team. But for now, I'm going to forget about them.
All right. Talking about the league, let's preview the fixtures that are coming up.
Before you preview, let me read some of the messages because there's a lot of messages that we've not read. Damola Ibrahim Abiola says, Abiodun says, good morning, boss. Good morning. He said, okay, I think I've said that. Isof Studio says, John Otaka too, from Egypt. Yes, John Otaka had a very fantastic run when he left, I think he club Ismail in France and went to, is it Rennes also, or less, one club in France, and it was superb. He had a fantastic run of 11 goals in 9 games or so. That's another good one, like Yakuba Egoni. Thank you very much, Isof Studio, for that. Digital format, that's why I said it's a community anyway. Good morning, Elegote family. Anybody did not surprise us. They did what we expected. We're not the wear earrings. Who be we? That are you. Okay, Johnny Gavai say, let him go find Jesus. Gift Urban. That's the way he grew up. Or you know how Togo. I'll be real football abilities. I don't think Nigerians need to cry about Urban. He's overrated by his stats. Do you think Gifterman is overrated? I think he's done more than he's a pin size. He's a pin size player, right?
If you follow him very well, he's been scoring goals from Norway.
I don't think he's overrated. Though. I don't think so. But I mean, I respect your opinion, but I don't think he's overrated. That's a very big.
It is what it is. So it's not like overrated.
It is what it is.
He's scoring goals.
Yeah.
Start saying.
It's living up to the hype.
So
it's living up to the hype. So I wouldn't say it's overrated. Overrated is a very big word to use. Your voice says I feel Osimhen will move this January to where it's not going anywhere. Christian Anamieze say, boss, I greet you. I don't know, but I have this odd feelings that Sheffield will put Sansan for Arsenal, Gary, with United to boss City. Barca and Madrid will share the spoils, and Jude Bellingham will score. Okay, this guy is just doing his own prediction. I don't think that Sheffield will beat Arsenal. Man United, Man City, I'm indifferent. I think that Man United might just cause them a problem. I don't think City are in their effervescent best. I don't think that they are in that imperious, best. But Man City, there's a point where in this season they will go that 15, 16, 17, 18 games unbeaten. Is he going to start now? A defeat Nasha would help to confirm my prediction that I know Man City are not going to win the league this season. And what is pissing people off is when I use the word I know. The preface before they will not win the title is what is pissing people off. But don't get pissed off. I've done this for too many times. Even if I get it wrong for the next 10 years, I have tried. Last season, Arsenal was firing on our cylinder. Akpos Baba was here telling us this. I kept telling you guys from the beginning, Arsenal are not going to win the title. It's a Man City season to win the treble or quadruple if they want to. Yeah, they're like that. Long and short is Man City is not going to win the title. The people, the powers that be, the people behind the black curtains would not want a coach now to win 4 in a row. No, because he still needs to work hard for it. It's not going to be 4 in a row for Pep Guardiola. It's not going to win the title this season. Okay. Olatunji Emmanuel, he say, I would like to ask that when betting, how much days rest does a team need to recuperate? I don't understand betting and what's the correlation? Recuperate their energy as to be able to bet on. As to be able to bet on them as you have played the game before. I respect your opinion. So first off, my time of playing the game, the science have advanced a lot. So recuperation in football used to take 4 or 5 days. Now with proper cryotherapy, ice treatment, and the rest of them with the kind of machines that they have, to be very honest, 24 hours, a player is ready. But fully rested, I think that Tottenham must have. To be fully rested, maybe 3 days. If you have a 3 days window to rest, you're good. Then if you have a week, one match here, and then another match another weekend, that's a fully rested squad. Unless you get like a terrible injury to maybe Madison or Son, Yumin, and some other guy, Kulusevski, or the guy Van der Ven in that defense, Spurs will be in the battle for long. I hate the fact that I'm saying that, but I've seen enough to say that. But I think the problem with Spurs is that they're a first team squad. They don't have the backup and the bench to really. I mean, there's no replacement for Son Heung-min. The Brazilian white timer, Richarlison is still Richarlison. He can't score to save his life, but he's got a lot of energy now. And so for some of that team, that's the reason why you have a big squad. And it's also part of the reason why it is hard to bet on Arsenal to win the title. Arsenal will win the title when the other teams fall apart, not because they were imperiously good and then they ran everybody out there. Because most of the key players in the Arsenal squad do not have a replacement. And if you look at this season, for instance, they're not really playing at their best. They are still up there, beats my imagination. But you look at Liverpool. Liverpool is a team that can juggle his attack and still play well. They can juggle some part of the midfield and still play well, even in the defense. But why they are not number one in the league is also a question that begs for answers. But you go back to the Spurs game and you say they were robbed, and you agree that some match fixing have set them back a bit, plus the fact that they had to find them again in that game. But all that said, what you need is between 24 to 48 hours of proper rest, and then you're good to go in that one. But betting on teams that play on Thursday and are still going to play on the weekend is a gamble. So you have to look at those teams that played on Tuesdays first, and then look at those ones that played on Wednesday. So if you want to hold back on your accumulator, if you're taking a risk on a Thursday team, let it be a single bet. But if you're doing accumulator, like West Ham this weekend, that West Ham might lose. Brighton might not play well. Liverpool might struggle, but they have a big squad. Because they have a big squad, they can rotate their squad properly and get going. But of those three that played in Europe and England, you can put Brighton and West Ham on the side. But for Brighton, depending on who they are playing, and I think they're playing on Sunday, and if they're playing at home, because they also played at home, they didn't have to travel, so it's just after the game you go home and rest and come back. So all of those things come into the factor when you. I'm giving betting trade secret here. Come into the factor when you're picking your bet. For me, why I bet on Destiny S is the fact that you're quick to get to 1,000. All your money comes in dollars, and once you hit it, I know that if you betting regular betting, the way I bet like two odds, it will take forever to get to 1 million naira. But if I get $1,000, I know I'm already 1.1, 1.2 million naira. So that's the difference in that conversation. But having said that, I think it's 48 hours. But then if you say a team that have rested for 72 hours, then they are good to go.
All right. Talking about match day 5 fixtures in the Nigerian Premier Football League. We are heading into that.
I think Timothy shared that with us.
Yeah, so match day 5, we'll see games tomorrow, and on Sunday, Bendel Insurance will be taking on Aqua United. Enugu Rangers up against Kano Pillars. Big game right there for Enugu Rangers.
True.
And Gombe United against Plateau United. So these are the 3 games scheduled for Saturday. We don't know, this might change anymore, but what I see now is going to be played on Saturday. So these 3 fixtures.
But today's Friday, you can't change. You can't change
Friday, yeah. But these 3 fixtures. What are your expectations? Okay, let me just go through the Sunday fixtures.
No. Do the Saturday first.
Okay, so Saturday, these 3 games on Saturday: Bendel, Aqua United, Enugu Rangers, Kano Pillars, Gombe United, Plateau United. So what are your expectations?
So the one that is tight is the Plateau United going away to Gombe United. Pantami is not a very comfortable place for anybody to travel to. So that's going to be very difficult. Plateau United are also, looking to do better than they've done. They've got a new coach, Mbwas Mangot, who is a Plateau indigenous, but things have not gone, the way they wanted it to go. For Rangers, we don't say they have done, but they are third on the log. Some other teams have a standing game. They've won out of the 4, they've won 2, drawn 1, and lost 1. If I'm not mistaken, or they won 3, lost 1. I know they've lost only 1 game. That's the game against Remo. I think that Rangers is going to win their game at home against Kano Pillars. Yes, Kano Pillars have not really been in full form. They've been good at home and they've been managing to score 1 goal. Traveling on the road has not been good for them. I don't think Rangers is the place they want to go now and cause damages for them. Bendel Insurance started last season in Uyo and won. And then they went on this run of 21 games unbeaten. This season have not been that good as well, like last season.
Just put a small to Fatah Osho's career.
But they've not been bad. So Fatah Osho is under that pressure. The sugar have turned to bitter leaf water. And Bendel Insurance does not look like nice people. If there's anything nice about them, they might just give him mercy killing. Okay, so I think that Bendel Insurance, even though the coach of Bendel Insurance believes that football is about participation, not about winning, but I think it's going to take this one very, very serious and win. It's just that Enyimba went to the continent and took Mondo Dige's words verbatim. Like it's about participation and about winning. But I think Bendel Insurance versus Aqua United, it's another bad day in the office, or horrible day in the office that is going to be. I don't see Aqua United coming to Benin. Bendel Insurance hardly lose game in Benin. Yeah. So I don't see them coming to Benin and winning. Draw, maybe, but I don't think so. I think Bendel Insurance is going to win.
All right, talking about the Sunday games, Enyimba will take on Remo Stars.
That game is postponed.
Yeah, so it's postponed. Katsina United against Sunshine Stars, Bayelsa United against Kwara United, Rivers United up against Nobi Stars, the only unbeaten team so far in the league.
End of the road.
Shooting Stars against Doma United and Sporting Lagos on Sunday. Under the floodlights of the MJA, we'll be taking on Niger Tornadoes, and of course we have the Oriental derby this weekend in Umuahia, where Abia Warriors will be taking on Heartland. So what are your thoughts from these games?
I like the Heartland going to Abia Warriors. Their coach is also under the sword already, being told that if you don't start winning now, it will be fired. And for those people who see that the sword is coming out too early, let's remember how Tottenham Hotspur sacked Nuno Espirito Santo after winning Manager of the Month in the month of August. Was fired. It's not a new thing. It's just when something happened in the MPFA. People call the cavalry, call 911 and 112 and 411. That's probably one of the biggest games, even though you would rather want to see Heartland Iba or Iba Heartland, depending on how it goes. But I'm looking at the unbeaten Lobby Stars going to Rivers United. Rivers United,
It's the end of the road.
yeah, I think it's the end of the road. I don't think they'll go to Port Harcourt and beat or get a draw.
I was hoping they might just get a draw.
No, Rivers United have a team that can hurt you. They play well for Lobby Stars. Now, this is not saying that Lobby Stars are not a good team. They can't withstand it. But I just think that home advantage and the pressure that Stanley Goma is under at the start of the season, there was already conversation that 15 years and counting, it's enough time for him to stop and move on. But, stay. Chris Green likes him. Move on. But, stay. Chris Green likes him. And he's commissioner of sports in Rivers State is continuing. One of the things that I think about Rivers United is that it be comfortable at the Adokia Messimaka Stadium. And sometimes games get tough, but they would do what they need to do to get a win. And I think this match they will win this one.
All right, then Sporting Lagos against Niners and others. And I don't know if you have anything to talk about that one, but the sweet thing for me is going to be an evening game, 6 p.m. kickoff. So I want to enjoy the stadium, the lights in the stadium, and stuff like that. But
there's a possibility. I have a 4 p.m. meeting today. There's a possibility that we might assist with production, test run something. The AI cameras are good, no argument about it. But we wanted to add a few fusion of reverse camera replays and bench angle. We're still in discussion. We would find out everything by after the meeting 4 p.m. today. We might be part of that game on Sunday. We might. I'm not saying we would. We might be part of that game on Sunday. But having said that, I think it's a good one. They're coming from the game that they lost to Remo. Again, they will feel a little bit hard done by the Scott Fest, equalized. The rains came in. They might claim that, okay, it affected their momentum. And when it felt like it was in the draw, somehow securely under pressure, they considered the penalty a short penalty. It's not the one that you say referee manufactured. And securely stepped up and dispatched it quite for a 2-1 defeat. I'm not sure Niger Tornado is going to travel. Vociferous fans, they call the noisiest supporters in Nigeria, but I thought that Canopilas have a lot more fans than them. Canopilas should be more noisy, but hey, it's a different conversation. And because of the Vuvuzela, because one Vuvuzela is like the voice of 10, 20, 30 people in a stadium. I would say that. I think that Sporting Lagos would win this one. I want to see them win, come back to winning ways again. If they have 2 back-to-back defeats, it will not be good. Somebody asked me earlier on yesterday evening that would I want Sporting Lagos to qualify for the continent immediately? While I don't think it would be good for Nigeria, because Lagos cannot go to the continent and win multiple matches like progress. They don't have the squad to do that, and it will affect our efficiency. So I still want the solid teams to go. But then Iba is one of the solid teams, and look at what they've done to us. 4-0 aggregates for a competition that is highly financially rewarding. For a Nigerian team, you should give it your all. And when you watch the game yesterday, you see the way the fans of Wydad were filled up in that stadium. A team that you went away to beat, you're still loud, you're still vociferously supporting your team. It tells you that we have a long way to go. We have a lot of things to do and learn. What I want to see Sporting Lagos on the continent now, I think they should be their time. Because Remo have been on the continent twice, they've really not done well. The lack of experience is obviously, but I don't think that they were willing to spend that kind of money. The kind of money that is required to make that only state teams can spend it. That's why most times I say, all those people saying that, state government-owned clubs, state government should remove their hand from football. We'll never reach it. We don't have private individuals who really have that money that people think they have. Because again, to run a successful club within 3, 4, 5 years, you spend 1 billion. I know. I've been there. I know. And Ikorodu United owner, when it started, I remember telling everybody, I was telling them, I remember they got a cutting junction to stop me from talking about it. I said, this man he go wreck because of the way they were running it. It's not like spending the money is bad. Again, I keep telling people don't understand this, but that football is not a profitable venture, but it provides you a goodwill and a leverage to be able to make money through other means. But football, as it is, whether in Nigeria or Europe, there's nobody you can point to in the world, in football world. Americans, I don't know how to do it. They have a magic that they've not shared with the rest of the world. But in normal football world, Europe, Africa, anywhere, it's not a profitable business. It's a financial scam that cannot even be explained. But that's a different conversation. And that's why Barcelona can be this big and be running I've also been in that place before so many years ago that at some point Madrid was supposed to go into administration. The king of Spain came to their rescue. People are forgetting all of that story like it didn't happen. Football is not a profitable business. So when you do it in a country like Nigeria, where the economy is even terrible, the value of your currency, Sporting Lagos should focus on playing in the Nigerian league, stay up there, don't get relegated, because the Lagos fans and the Lagos energy is needed for the good of the league. And they say they want to build a stadium, work out to get the partners to get the secure the land and build their own home stadium, make it scarce spec, and then they can now decide to say, okay, we want to go on the continent. Right now, Sporting Lagos represent Nigeria on the continent. We'll do better our coefficiency already to the finals of the CAF Confederations Cup.
All right. Ahead of this weekend run of fixtures in the NPFL, there's a letter from dated on the 26th of October, signed by David Sido.
That's yesterday.
Yeah, it's about request for fixture rearrangement and rescheduling. Now, this is what the letter said. It has become necessary again to issue a final notice that the Nigerian Premier Football League will no longer be disposed to accepting requests on the above subject matter. That's about fixture rearrangement and rescheduling. We are beginning to give poor impressions to our partners and the general public that the NPFL lacks fixtures fidelity due to frequent change of scheduled match days. This is not helping the perception of the league as a serious and stable brand. All clubs are hereby notified there will be no basis, be it logistics, strictly football reason, such as international engagement. We seek your cooperation is we're not going to accept excuses from clubs to postpone games.
How many clubs have made such? If clubs have made excuses that is not football related, I thought all games were rescheduled this season based on teams that went on the continent. Rivers United game was rescheduled because they were on the continent. Enyimba Remo game have been rescheduled the game because Enyimba was on the continent. They're supposed to play on Wednesday and Tuesday, and then because of flight
logistics or unavailability of stadium.
We've not had any game because of unavailability of stadium, but it's good that they put it out there up front anyway. I wouldn't say that it's flimsy or unnecessary. I wouldn't say that. It's good that they say to me that. It's good that they say to me for one thing that I don't really think so, but hey, this is Nigeria. Maybe they are preempting something. There's something they've heard. They're not just going to write that later. They've heard something and they're trying to keep it. But hey, a few messages that we need to read. I have voice say, confidence when well understood and displayed by an individual will always be seen as pride by others with small talk. Timothy then will say, on confidence, thanks for teaching me confidence. Not there yet, but no, you're way better now. But it's better than it used to be. It's very good thing. Additional Former says the guy saw Adebayo experience from his family and the whole voodoo. The guy is being careful. Gift is not overrated. He has been doing more than what is expected. That's what I think. I don't think it's overrated, but I also, have to respect other people's opinion. That's what people accuse me of. Like, I don't respect other people's opinion, but I also say that if your opinion is not fact-based, it's hard for me to respect it. Right? To be very honest. And if your opinion is a lie, come on, I'm not going to take it from you. Therefore, say, not eerie for me. My fiancé drew a tattoo on her leg, and before we could say Jack, her leg was burnt and had to clean it off. The scar is dead today and is gradually wearing off. Oh boy. Now that I want to go and do tattoo, now you are making me scared. He'll never say, the one way you the swear for West Ham, them don't scatter your white paper, be me na battle. Okay, so West Ham, like when you give people game to play, you're hoping that they win because you want them to be happy. And then West Ham, like every other game went through, and then it was West Ham that knocked it out. And they were like, Baba, the game good when I got West Ham. I guess I'm sorry. So that's why. Kaz _347 say, it be like my Oga don't get updates on money making, because this one where you the swear for West Ham. Cars, get out of here. You that was driving to come and see me in Europe, and you branch your girlfriend place, you're not going to come again. For you, honest, back to you, man.
All right, moving on the show. I don't know if this will be our final talking point on the show, but let's talk about the Super Eagles squad.
What's it running to 10-10?
Let's talk about the Super Eagles squad evaluation. Nigeria is now ranked the 10th most valuable squad in the world and the most.
What does that even mean?
The most valuable squad in Africa. I mean, this was recently. there's been more content, more, should I say, not the best of designs, but we've seen that improvement, more engagement.
Graphics are working well, but
yeah, so we've seen that. So this was put out there. So we are 10th most valuable squad in the world, and the most valuable squad in Africa, and the market value is 451 points. 451 million euros thereabouts. Yeah, 451.60 million euros. That's his total. Those above us: England, France, Portugal, Brazil, Spain, Argentina, Germany, Italy, Netherlands, and Nigeria.
What does it mean? So I don't know.
On this,
help me out. What do you want me to analyze now?
No.
What does this mean? What does this mean?
Look at the players individually and tell us what you feel the valuation of this player is, and this that makes up the whole 451 million euros and stuff like that. So basically, your take on the whole valuation and talent-wise, we have the players, but does he relate to the valuation that you put out there for this player?
Well, before the valuation comes in, Johnny Gaffer is doing what I normally do. He's holding his ground and he's really not willing to shoot his sword. And he says, laugh out loud. I was speaking about his footballing abilities. Bros, now, footballing ability we talk now. If not finance, you don't find well like me now. So we're not going to talk about his personality. We'll talk about his footballing abilities. And I also think Bruno footballing abilities is overrated. Who's Bruno?
Who's Bruno?
Who is Bruno? You're talking about Bruno Fernandes or Oyemechi. Let's know. Goals don't mean everything. No, for a striker, goals mean everything. Everything is about goals. Everything is about goals. Haaland was pushed from one small upcoming footballer to Ballon d'Or, and people are even saying that if Messi wins it against him, is because of what? Because of goals. Nothing else. Haaland did not do anything else again apart from score goals. Right now, there's nobody to supply him the ball, and he's looking so useless. He's looking like a liability in the master team. So when you're a striker, goals means everything. Goals is everything for a striker. Having said that, let's come back to the valuation. So maybe it's a new conversation, and I can't remember ever. This is going to be the first time that this conversation is coming up in football discourse. So understand as that balance. It doesn't, because Osimhen alone is put at, and whoever is doing that thing is putting Osimhen at 150 million euro. Nobody's going to buy Osimhen at 150 million euro. And probably they're pricing Boniface in his future price tag, not his current price tag. And because they said that Madrid would be willing to put in 120 million on him, so they're putting him on that one as well. Gift Urban that have not even played for Nigeria, I'm sure they're also putting him in that conversation. So if you look at it, it is just a blown up jump to feed conversation. Yeah. Unfortunately, this is the one where I'm going to take a pass. I'm going to say, you know what? Let the upcoming people talk about this one. This is not for me. I'm older than this conversation right now. We don't have a goalkeeper. Our defense is not solid. Our midfield does not have creativity. We have good attackers. That's the conversation I want to get involved in. How do we turn that team into a world beater? How do we turn that team into a team that you can bet your money on, that they will go on to the AFCON and deliver? That's what I want to know. It's not like we are the 10th most expensive, most valuable team on the continent. And then when it comes to playing on the field, we are just as horrible as an Indian football team. Come on.
Somebody's asking a question here. You talked about AMR earlier on. So somebody's asking, please, Elevator, do you think AMR should be drafted into the goalkeeping trainers for the Super Eagles? I mean, I've seen a lot of people come out to say that.
When people say these things, I'm always bothered. AMR is doing events. He's running event centers. He's running food business. I've not seen him post that he got in a coaching badge. When it comes to training goalkeeper, not be about saying you be footballer.
Is he still involved in football?
No, I've not seen him involved in football. So when you're saying they should draft him, because you play football, one thing we should know is football is an art. Coaching is science. In art, you focus on the act itself. You just do the act and you go. In science, you're missing a lot of components together to create a formula that becomes a product, a brand, or a solution. Right? So in the science of football, you must go get trained. There is an artist out there who never went to school. They say he's naturally gifted and he's just painting. Right? There is not a doctor in the world, even native doctor, they learn the work. There is not a doctor in the world, and I'm not talking about the Nigerian type of PhD doctors who go and come back and be doing penis enlargement. Arotorego will not be happy with me on this one, but like I always say, every PhD holder in Nigeria is useless as far as I'm concerned. I'm talking of real doctor. The science of medicine means you have to be trained over a long period of time. That's why even art students spend 4 years, medicine students spend 5 years in school. Only the lawyers will argue against this argument because they also spend that much time in school. Having said that, Vincent Yama will not just wake up and say, okay, go and coach the national team. First off, does his temperament even fit this team? Vincent Yama is a very temperamental person. He's a very high-headed person. Would he be willing to work this national team? What is he going to bring? This is a question I asked some time ago when Joseph Yobo was brought into the team, and I said he doesn't have a coaching badge. Why are you people bringing him? And people looked at me like I was beefing him. I said, no, I mean, I review Joseph Yobo. I played against him, Chaparros versus Michelin back in the day. I like him. I like the guys and my friend. But when it comes to the national team, friendship is not what you discuss. It's about qualification and competence and all that. Yeah. So in this case, Victor Yama doesn't have a coaching badge. And even if you have a coaching badge, they train for goalkeeper coaches. And that's another thing that a lot of people don't understand. The specialization in coaching. Does he specialize in trying to coach goalkeeper? Does he want to even do that or not? So if he doesn't have the badge and he's not ready, he's not applying for it, why should we go and bring him? This is Kano Akwa. They just put Kano Akwa on the biggest club in Nigeria. You see how he's making a mess of the job. So I don't think he's something that he wants to do, and we shouldn't even have that conversation.
All right, moving on the show, I think we're going to wrap up with this one. Still on the derby games.
Johnny Gaffard says when he goes to a tougher league and the goals slow down, then we have judged by overall play. I will revisit this. Now that this is a problem. Now in analysis,
it was coming from Norway to Belgium.
In analysis, this is how you, in football analysis, you judge what we're saying. I cannot say, Alan is not a good player until he goes to Barcelona and Madrid and score goals. No, let's talk about where he's playing now. You judge footballers based on where they are. You can't be a good player until he goes to Barcelona and Madrid and score goals. No, let's talk about where he's playing now. You judge footballers based on where they are. You cannot wake up and judge a footballer by future unknown events. Me and you might not be alive for his next club move. We will not be here to judge him. He might move and do well. He might move and fail. So when what's it called? The guy that went to Villarreal and won the Golden Boot from Manchester United was Diego Forlan was playing at Man United. He was seen as a bad player because the present result states that he's a bad player. He went to Villarreal, struggled in the first 6 games, and then boom, he started scoring goals, and then he won the European Golden Boot. And then he went to the 2010 World Cup where everybody was complaining about the ball. What's the name of that football that they use in the 2010 World Cup now? And then he was the only one who mastered the ball, free kick, goals, and he was called the hero. He won the highest goal scorer in 2010 and also won, Golden Boot in Europe. We judged him by that. So when you look at football says let's judge people by their current. He moved from Norway, which is a lesser league, to the Belgian league. And he's doing well. He's played in the European Conference League and he scored a lot of goals against, some teams who are, highly placed than his team. And the ball is Jabulani. Thank you very much, Alamatu. And in all of these conversations, he's, lived up to the expectations of the current realities of the times. You cannot say, oh, let's wait till he moves. So you're already judging him for a move that has not happened. It's like saying that my 11-year-old son will be a failed father. So that's not fair. Or you're saying that you will be a failed president if you are voted into power. I never even contest. I don't have a political party card. Let's talk about me now. My failure now. Let's know if I'm a failure now. I know where to make correction. We can't judge Gift Urban based on the events that have not happened in life. The earthquake that has not happened, you're already telling me the number of people that will die of an earthquake that have not even showing any seismic sign that the earth is rumbling and all that. I don't think it's fair. Now, this again is where people say it doesn't like to listen to other people's opinion. This now is not fact. This is not even projectile fact, because projectile fact is based on current numbers. I think that if he faced this type of things, this is what will happen. And that should be projection. But you are being emphatic and being absolute about it. I think that is wrong, Johnny Gaffer. On these grounds that you now brought in this conversation, I think you're completely wrong at a point and don't know what you're saying. Because you have to judge a footballer by the result of what you've seen. And like Mayweather said some time ago, You can only fight who's in front of you. If you put a weak person in front of me and I beat the person, you can't say the person is weak. The person beat people to qualify to fight against me, and I beat them. All of a sudden they are weak. When they were beating other people and qualifying to become the people that will fight me, they were strong. So when I beat them, now they become weak. No, I can only fight who's in front of me. Put the person in front of me and let the person beat me. The person cannot beat me. When Manny Pacquiao was beating everybody, was good. Mayweather beat Manny Pacquiao. So Manny Pacquiao, he fought Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao was old. Oh, really? And he didn't retire. You understand? So you can only beat who's in front of you. That's the way I see it. I have voice say former Super Eagles goalkeeper Vincent Enyama has taken the role of a goalkeeper coach with French national 3-club side, ED's club, the Cross. Okay, let's see how it progresses from there. Allow me to say, okay, I think I'm ready. Johnny Gava says, personally, I don't rate his overall game. So I'm saying when the goals dry in a tougher league, we would then judge him on his overall game. A striker is judged based on goal, no matter how much. That's why people don't read Gabriel Jesus that much. Okay, he scores one, every time. But you could tell that we have Gabriel Jesus, we have Eddie Nketiah, but everybody's still saying that Arsenal needs a striker. There's a reason why. Overall play, Gabriel Jesus' overall play is better than many other players.
Not all strikers be a Firmino. Not all strikers be a Harry Kane.
Even Firmino with such overall play was always on the bench.
Not all strikers you expect that from. Some are just there to score.
A striker's job is to score goals.
I think what happens is judging based on other attributes as well.
Which attributes?
Basis of scoring goals. So
which attribute?
That's the first thing. You said overall play, so
I don't understand. I don't understand what overall play is, and that league where you're talking about with them. Then I say I also don't rate Bruno Fernandes when he don't score. People only then realize how overrated his footballing abilities are. First off, Bruno Fernandes is not in the team to score goals. The problem with Bruno Fernandes started with when Cristiano Ronaldo came in, and I think that Bruno Fernandes is a bit too emotional, and that is his problem. He's a good football player, yes, maybe not world class, but he's a good football player. And I kind of understand. See, I don't think there are too many people in this world who have a very high rating for footballers than myself. Manchester United is such a big club that, first of all, when you look at the rosters of people that have played in that midfield or the number 8 position that Bruno Fernandes is trying to fit himself into, there is a style of play that he brings. It's full of running, but because it's too emotional, it's easily wound up. Okay, and a good player in a bad team sometimes can change the team, but then a good player in a bad team sometimes can also go very bad. So when you look at the Manchester setup, there is hardly a player that have come in and have consistently done well for 2 or 3 seasons. They come up, start up with a burst of energy, with the vibe of where they're coming from, and very soon they melt out. If it is not due to injury, it is due to Martinez. What's it called? The defender, the shot defender, Martinez, right?
Yeah,
no, Lisandro Martinez came in and everyone said, "Oh, is it Rock of Gibraltar? Where is he at? He's a bad player. Not a bad player. It's just in a system that is terrible. When a team is as bad as United is, even though the name, I mean, this is Manchester United, almighty Manchester. All of us that are following football in this year 2023 and are above 15 or 20 years grow up knowing that the team to go to, as a matter of fact, Manchester United is put in the same pedestal with Real Madrid, Barcelona. Before Barcelona, I was sure Real Madrid, Barcelona, AC Milan of them, on the same pedestal. Right now, Manchester United is just a dead team. So it is hard to really pick out a player to play well. Now, as a Man United fan, which Johnny Gaffer is, I understand your anger. It's like when I see people rate Martin Odegaard very high. I'm looking at the roster and I'm saying, you're replacing says Fabregas. Fabregas' position is what you're playing. And I can't rate you 50% of Fabregas. So everyone's like, oh, Odegaard is good, is this? I'm like, this guy is shit. I understand that from a fan of the club. I understand that because I'm rating him against certain people. Emmanuel Petit, Fabregas, people that have played that position before, Paul Messi, Andres Limpa, who went on to Everton and won the FA Cup in 1995 with Everton, and all of those people. And I was like, on this chart, he's at the bottom. He's just sitting 2 inches above the Nielsen. I'm like, okay, well, let's just see what we can do with this. But Bruno Fernandes, I'm not going to say he's a shitty player, he's a terrible player or a bad player. It's just that he does not know how to manage his emotions, and that affects him. Whether he scores goals or he doesn't score goals, it's like saying let's judge post goals by the number of goals that he scores. No, it's just that the team is not good. Marcus Rashford runs when he wants to run. Anthony Martial makes his move when he wants to make his move. If he scores 1 goal, he go like 20 games before he will score another goal. And the coach selects players very, very irresponsibly. So in that kind of a team, I think the problem with Manchester United is more of a coaching team than the player thing. What's it called? Johnny Gavard also went on to say Boniface is a better footballer than Osimhen. I agree with you 100%. But stats, people will say Osimhen is better. No. So this is the thing. Boniface have had 2 Achilles injury, ACL. I've had 2 ACL injuries, which in footballing term, if you have 1 ACL, go and ask McAlowan and a few other people like Ruud van Nistelrooy and the rest of them who had ACL, that's the end of your career. Now he's had 2 ACL. Okay, the time frame that Victor Osimhen have had is different from the time frame that he's had. We cannot judge, and this is Boniface's first season in a big club. And Osimhen took him the 3rd season in Napoli for him to establish. That start, we're not judging that start. We're not even judging Gift Urban based on start. We're judging Gift Urban based on the evidence of what he's done. Just the same way we're judging Boniface now based on the evidence of what he's done. If Boniface's all-round game was good and these 10 goals were not there, we will say he's a flop already at Bayer Leverkusen. That's just the basic.
You know, this guy also was a midfielder before you started playing four positions and all that. So maybe that also adds to his game, what people see.
Yeah, Boniface, right?
Yeah.
Boniface. It was in Palagbogo's team. It was a midfielder.
Yeah.
So the flair, the star, the extra that he brings to the game, just like Thierry Henry was a winger who became a goal scorer. And so you look, everybody should score goal like Thierry Henry. How now? How? You ask, so you want to judge Ruud van Nistelrooy based on Thierry Henry's overall play? No, my job is to stick the ball in the old onion bag, and I'm doing that very well, and that's fine. Okay, not everybody is going to do the extra, dribble 10 men and run the 100 yards and score the goals. No, just put the ball in the net. If he's scoring the goals, and it's good. As far as I'm concerned, it's good enough for me. But I quite understand where you're coming from, but strikers are not judged on overall play, actually. Strikers are judged on goal and goals alone. Mochi Grip says, no MPFA player can break through the national team, not one. Yes, I agree with you on that one. Cars underscore 347 say RC Lens. That is talking about John Tucker. It's RC Lens. Thank you very much, Johnny Gafar. Thank you very much for the £5 that you've given to us. We really appreciate it. I wish everybody gives us money like this. I bet Johnny Gafar come every day more they argue. So you like the argument, you will bring the money. Official 69 football, Sisha Paros, COE, Port Harcourt. Yes, that's SBS. Yes, School of Basic Studies. Back then, okay, they call it COE now, College of Education. Okay, used to be School of Basic Studies. Yeah, SBS. Okay, that's opposite to Lanada Primary School. You say Jablani, former Mr. Jablani. Yeah, Keodofia. Yeah, thank you very much. Johnny Gafar, it's a good conversation today, like always. Well, it's time for us to pack about it.
Somebody wants to finally know we started this show with derby games, so you didn't give us your favorite derby. So this person is asking, I would like Elevator to tell us his favorite derby games that he has watched either on night. Show with that, what is your favorite derby games? You also said you had something about derby games you penned down that you want to talk about.
Okay, so some of the derby games that I penned down that I want to talk about, there's quite a lot of them. It's Friday, so we can push it a bit and see. So let me see this. I was doing research back then. I think I was in Brilla back then when we were doing something about derby games and what even the infusion. Okay, so you'll be shocked that there's a derby game that is church versus church. And I grew up in Warri, in Assemblies of God. And we used to have the spiritual arrows, which was the Assemblies of God team, and then we have the Jesus Strikers, and then we have what if we had a football club called Living Boots, like that. And we're playing all this interchurch competition. But then when you go to Europe, there are competitions that are built on rivalry, hatred of one church against the other. You won't believe that against the other. You won't believe that a derby somewhere in Europe is born out of the hatred of the Anglican versus the Protestant. It is the Celtic versus Rangers derby. It is not powered by football. It is powered heavily by religion. So when there's somebody tell you that, Nigerians are all religious, blah, 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 the whole of Europe is powered by religion. Either you're a Catholic, you're Anglican, or you're Protestant or something. Even in America too, there's also that the good old Baptist, Black People's Church, and the Lutheran and the Protestants and the Anglicans and the Catholic and the rest of them. But let's look at some of these ones now. I'm going to start with the location. Location is one of the most common reasons to set a rivalry. These games provide supporters with the opportunity to contest local bragging rights. As a result, they are quite often the most important games on the supporters' calendar. Example: Everton versus Liverpool. I cannot even believe that this is a derby anymore. As a Liverpool fan, when the season starts, do you look at the fixtures and say, when are we playing Everton? Do you look at that? Or Everton for you is 3-point guaranteed?
Recently, I mean, 26 in the last 26 games, we won 25, draw one. So I look at it with less interest.
And so you look at those games and you're like, why is this a rivalry?
I just love the fact that it's amongst two
Across the street.
Across the street, exactly. That's the word. So I just build up and for a derby that has produced the most red cards, so it's also one of the things that.
No, I'm gonna go sit down for Bush. Okay, the controversy is also a controversial event can create great animosity between clubs. One single event usually isn't enough to create an enduring rivalry between clubs. However, this event often fueled the flames between existing rivals. Example: Luis Figo became the most hated man in Catalonia in 2000 when he moved to Real Madrid. Now let's talk about religion a bit because I started the talk on religion. Religious derbies are definitely one of the most passionate in the world. Example: the greatest example of Old Firm derby between Celtic, who are Catholic, and Rangers, who are Protestant. We can number a lot of reasons, but those were probably the biggest ones. I hope you will enjoy the ones that are done. So let's go to Croatia and talk about this one. This derby, I've watched it on TV when I was in Sweden, and I've seen a lot of people from Croatia, some Croats, who talk about this game like it is crazy. It is a religious one. It is treated like your papa, your mama, somebody died on this matter. Okay, so the country is Croatia. League titles, Dynamo, at the time of this research and write-up, Dynamo have at 112. I just League at 1-6 now. Eternal derby is a match between the two biggest and most popular Croatian clubs. Dynamo Zagreb and I just played. Okay, these derbies are always full of hate between the two clubs, which makes sad. A lot of people become because of they were fighting together in war against Serbia aggression. All of a sudden, because of football, they are split through the middle. Interesting. Nikolai Kranja, Tottenham Hotspur player, played for both teams. Dynamo Zagreb between 2001 and 2004. Ajax played between 2004 and 2006. Okay, head to head in this one, they played 183 times. Dynamo have won 73, draw 46, and I just played 64. Now let's talk about the religious derby that brings fight in Scotland. It's called the Old Firm derby. The Old Firm derby is definitely one of the most popular derbies we've ever had. About derby between clubs Celtic and Rangers, both based in Glasgow. This derby can also be named the religious derby, as Celtic Catholic while Rangers are Protestant. So these religious views bring more fire in this derby. I'm sorry about that one. Galatasaray and Fenerbahce. So if you know the talks, they are very passionate people, energetic. A Turkish fan saw me in Amsterdam and immediately went wild talking about Oyekuru, Kosha, Mokashi, everything. They just talking about football. On the queue, I was going for passport control, and one thing or the other, I was not told to step aside. You know, my visa is Germany, right? My Schengen visa is Germany. And I flew to Amsterdam and I went into Amsterdam, came back, and I was going out to Portugal. And so the guy just cannot relate. How is somebody living in Amsterdam and going to Portugal when you're supposed to be going to Germany, which is closer? And then I don't have a ticket that terminates in Germany, because I was going to go, my own personal movement. So they stepped me aside. So this guy thought, okay, first of all, I'm holding a Nigerian passport and they are stepping me aside. I must be a 419, I must be a drug person, blah, blah, blah. So I went in. Now, this is how the world works. I went in, and guess who was the Interpol guy that was right in front of me, that was sitting there, and he saw me, he started laughing. So I was like, what? I didn't recognize him. He was all jarred up, wearing everything, wearing glasses. And I looked at him, and I just hissed. And I gave him my passport. I said, man, will you stamp my passport and let me go? He was my former teammate in Sweden. You understand? And he said, where are you going to? I explained to him. I said, listen, the reason why I didn't buy direct to Germany was because it cost me 2.5 million to buy that one. And it cost me cheaper, 1.5 million to do this round tripping. And I'm going to watch a Super Eagles game in Portugal. So, and he said, yeah, you used to be a defender. I said, yeah, anyway. And then he gave me 200 euros, say, for your baby boy. I just laughed. And I come back, the Turkish guy was still on the line. The Turkish people are crazy about football. He said, what happened? My brother, what happened? As I went to see my friend on TV and asked, so your friend is Interpol? I say yes. Europol, sorry. Your friend is Europol? I say yes. So I went to see him. We play football together in Sweden. The guy just laughs. Ah, you big man from Nigeria, big man. We got talking anyway, but it was funny. And so let's talk about this derby a bit. Turkey, Sarai, they both have 17 league titles. Turkish football right involved. There are two most successful clubs, Fenerbahce. Intense, really intense match that attracts large audience. On match day. These guys have played each other 365 times. I mean, you could put a game for each day, and the rivalries. But then you would think that in Germany, if they ask you what is the derby, the biggest derby in Germany, what would you call it?
I've been reading about the Rhine. Is it Rhine derby or between is it Schalke and Dortmund?
Yeah.
So
that's the craziest derby in Germany.
I think I'm reading about
and so
what's it called? The Rhine derby or something?
Yes, the Rhine derby. Rivera derby.
Yes.
I went to Bayern and I went to go. I said, I want to make a tour. I want to have a stadium tour, official stadium tour. I normally go to stadium just see what I was like. I want a picture from the Bayern Museum, and you sell the picture. The German government can prosecute anywhere you are in the world. Again, the Bayern, the Alliance Arena was built in such a way that it's just a shaba. Let's use that one now. It's just there. And then again, there is fans, when you come out your first in one upper corner. Say, I'm going back again to Europe. This time I'm going to go to England. I'm going to do a few stadium tour and ask questions because I need to learn. Okay, so the Rivera Derby is the most famous derby in German football. It's between Borussia Dortmund and Schalke 04. The one that's coming up this weekend is the one known as the Classico. Classico is one of the greatest derbies played, maybe even the greatest derby, but I don't think it's the greatest derby. I think the Derby de la Bombonera is the greatest derby in football, as far as I'm concerned. The rivalry comes about as Madrid and Barcelona are the two largest cities in Spain, and the two clubs are the most successful and influential football clubs in the country. All nationalism. Okay, notable players to play for both teams. Robert Prosinecki, I'm sure you know this guy. He was in the Croatia team. There's one player that played World Cup for two different countries. Played for Yugoslavia, has played for Croatia. Michael Laudrup has played for both sides. Luis Enrique has played for both sides. Luis Figo has played for both sides. Ronaldo Lima played for both sides. Head-to-head in this battle, they played 204 games as at the time of this research. Real Madrid have won 83, drawn 43, 78 win for FC Barcelona. In Portugal, the biggest rivalry is the one between Benfica and FC Porto, and it's called O Classico. Is a match between the new powerhouse FC Porto and in Portuguese football versus the traditional strong powerhouse, the one that have the Bela Gottman calls Benfica. Then you have the one that I do not consider a rivalry, but it is fiercest. In the 90s, this match is always bloody. In the days of Duncan Ferguson and Andrew Slipper and the rest of them, it was always bloody. And it is a battle between Liverpool and Everton. But it's crazy. It's called the popular Merseyside Derby. It's the name of this match between Everton and Liverpool, the two most successful clubs from the city of Liverpool. God, I don't know why this is a derby. Now, this is my derby. This derby is the derby that I love the most. I mean, I grew up watching highlights from South America. A lot of South American highlights, Rodman's World Football Show. I don't know if you guys watched that one. And I fell in love with it because first of my introduction to football was the 1986 World Cup. I always say that. And I fell in love with one short, diminutive guy who goes by the name of Maradona. He could do no wrong. Even when he scored with his hand against England, which happened to be the country that raised me up until 5 years, I didn't care. England didn't, because I used to see England football as kick and follow. Even though the 1986 squad and the 1990 squad were a bit, had quality, they had people like Gascoigne and the rest of them who were skillful. But I saw a guy who could speak to football, who could use his leg to control the ball in a way that nobody's ever done it, the way he glided past the entire England five-man defense, and then the way he turned Belgium, who was a very good team in 1986, into a shadow of themselves, even Enzo Schifo not being able to get a feel of the ball, and all of those razzmatazz that Maradona brings before the game with his short pants and his bulky body, but very, very short, and his afro hair. Everything about Maradona was great. And so it made me fall in love with Argentine football. And I started, look hungry. Everything about Maradona was great. And so it made me fall in love with Argentine football. And I started, look hungry for Argentine football. And then I stumbled upon this derby that have many names. For global purpose, they call it the Super Classico, but it's the Derby de la Bombonera anyway. But it's the derby between Buenos Aires rival Boca Juniors and River Plate. This one, they set the stadium on fire. It's crazy. I mean, it's crazy. People like Carlos Tevez have played in this, and you expect him to come play in the Manchester Derby and feel intimidated. But then in the land of Zeus, there is also the Panathinaikos versus what's it called, Olympiacos Derby. That is, there's a derby there. That one is called the Eternal Enemies. That's what they are called. The Eternal one side is the Zeus side, and the other side is Poseidon side. So it goes back into ancient. And then in Brazil, there is the Flamingos and Fluminense derby that is also very, very key. They call it the Fla-Flu derby. Okay, Flamingos and Fluminense. Fla-Flu derby is a very, very crazy one. They are cross-time rivals, and it's crazy. Then the Internal City rival, or Derby de la Capital, that's the one between Roma and Lazio. People go crazy for that one. And then there's a stupid derby that I hate to call it derby, but then it's a derby. Tottenham Hotspur Arsenal. It's not supposed to be a derby. And Benfica, coming off their derby with FC Porto, also have another derby with Sporting Lisbon because they are rivals. And then there's this one that was started by butchers. Okay, this derby was started by butchers. Dinamo Bucharest and Star Bucharest in the Romanian league. It's a rivalry between butchers and who get the best meat and all that. And then there is the hatred derby between Manchester United and Liverpool. Why that is a derby, I don't know, but they just don't like each other. They don't wish each other well. In France, there's the PSG, Marseille, PSG, and this rivalry came about as when Paris Saint-Germain will lose a European game, Marseille will be celebrating in their city. They'll be throwing party, they'll be giving free drinks, and that's where they call it La Classique de France. That's the one. Then in Africa, I think there's only one major derby in Africa that everybody really talk about and is hyped up, unless the rivalry between Remo Stars and Sporting Lagos will hit that height. But do you have any penny for guessing the biggest derby in Africa?
In Africa,
yeah,
Nigeria.
Club football Africa.
Oh, Africa. I can't.
Al-Ali Zamalek.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's the one that brings fire in the Netherlands, Ajax Feyenoord. And then there's the Red Star Belgrade and Partizan Belgrade, which is they call it the Graveyard Belgrade. And then the Milan Derby or Derby de la Madolina.
The one in Czech Republic, Sparta Prague and Slava Prague. Did you mention it?
I'm coming.
No.
Let's talk about better derby and leave small children derby. That one is not. It's not part of the top 20. So those are all the derbies that I have. But for me, the one that really hits me, that stuck my head, I've stayed there like rent-free forever, is the one Boca Juniors River played. That one is the Bombonera Derby. That for me is the one. And then I used to like the Milan Derby. I'm a fan of secret disciple of AC Milan. I used to like the Milan Derby back in the day when football resembles football. But I don't know. Football is too easy now. If you know what I mean.
All right. So for you that is listening, you've heard his favorite derbies, the list of derbies he just mentioned. I think for you that is listening as well, you've got some bit of information about some of these derby games that you might not have heard before or that you just don't know before. So yeah, with that, it's a wrap on the show today. It's been a long ride from Tuesday to this very moment. We're back again next week, and I'm going to talk about all things football related opinions that went down the.
So I want to make an appeal as we go. So we are taking a gamble, taking a very big risk. We've not even mastered our football work yet, but we're taking a very big risk and we're branching off into basketball. And the first clips of the basketball content we just posted. I posted on my Instagram page, on TikTok, on the YouTube channel. Please watch it. If you notice there's no voice on it, it's just instrumental. Watch it, drop a comment. If you want us to continue, and the reason, let me explain so people don't think I'm taking it for granted. The reason being that I sit back, and this is not a product of pride, but this is a reality. I sit back and I realize that, look, what we've done in football from grassroots in 2017 up until now have become the catalyst for what is happening across the social media space within our sports and everywhere. And we did it from grassroots up onto producing the league last season. And I think if we do the same thing, I'm assuming that if we do the same thing for basketball might also have a lot more people shining light on it. Because I realize that Nigerian sports needs somebody who will just be the catalyst to say, you know what, we can talk about this sports, we can do this, and it will energize other people. And I don't think that everybody should focus their cameras and their lenses on just football alone, which as much as I want football to grow, it'd be good. I always look at America as an example. There's the NFL, there's the ice hockey, there is the basketball, there's the women basketball, there is a whole lot, baseball, and all of them are thriving. So I think that we can use the experience that we've gathered in trying to grow football to also grow basketball, and then we'll go to volleyball, and then we'll go to boxing. But we don't want to rush all of these things at once. Manuel Sebastian is already the face of our football content, and myself. We have a national team player, Teresa Tima Dangose, okay, to be the face of our basketball content. But we just put out a 1 minute and 56 seconds video. We hope that you guys will watch it, and then we don't want to bore you that much. That's why it's not long. Look at it and tell us if you think we should continue. And gradually, you will not start seeing us interviewing people. She was in Ibadan 2 days ago. We got a crew to cover our day in Ibadan as well. We're trying. It's not easy. It's crazy, expensive. I'm just a mad guy who's doing things that nobody sent me. But at the end of the day, I want to be able to make an impact where I live. I'm in Nigeria right now. I don't know where I'll be in the next 10, 20 years. I don't plan to jackpot anywhere. But for as long as I'm here, I don't want to complain. I want to be a solution. But I also need to carry people along and let you know what we're doing. So in this regard, please, if you think we should do what we're doing for football in the Nigerian basketball space as well, let us know so that we'll go. And for those who are asking, what did I go to do in Europe? The official reason is for, first off, to go negotiate a deal with the Bundesliga, which is almost a done deal now. And I'll also get a few people because I can't be traveling. It's really expensive. I can't be traveling around the world trying to interview everybody. And so many people don't want to do Zoom. They'll tell you, if you want to interview me, come to my city and come and talk to me. So now we're doing that. And I also realized that our women footballers are not being focused upon. So we will do that. We have a studio. I've got a crew now. I put a crew together on this trip that I went to Europe for. And I hopefully would be able to work up something that would be entertaining, informative, and thrilling to everybody. So please do what to support us as you have always done, sharing our content, comment our content, like what we do, and get us more subscribers, and we will just do the rest. Thank you very much. Emmanuel Sebastian, thank you to the audience, to everybody who's been part of the show. Johnny Gaffer, thank you very much for gifting us £5 this morning. God bless you, and God bless every other person in and around your circle. God bless you once again, and thank you. My name is Ida from Manchester, just as we have Emmanuel Sebastian with me. Bye-bye. That's a long show. Jeez. Yeah.